Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And good morning, everybody. How are you? It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. And when I say beautiful, the weather is absolutely marvelous on the outside. Sunshine here with you. You stepped into the hottest spot in town. We call this a place where you can talk about those difficult conversations and feel safe while you're doing it. We talk about everything so that we can make sure that we understand. I believe in people receiving knowledge. I believe in once you receive the knowledge, you got to learn to apply it. And that's what we're here for, to be the voice for the community. Things that are coming up that you need to know about. Let me say this, and I encourage you every single day. We've got 28 days till election time. We've got 28 days, and I'm telling you, please make sure, get your plan together. When I say a plan, if you look at the weather now, it may be storming on November the 5th. We don't know because, the hurricane season don't end until the 30th. So therefore, you got to be prepared to make sure everything is in order. And when I say in order, call the supervisor of elections office. Make sure you got all your credentials lined up, because it is the way that you can speak the loudest, and that is by casting your vote. Now today, we're going to talk about something that I'm so proud to hear of this young pastor doing in our city. I'm talking about Pastor Tyler Burns, and he's here with me today. And I tell you, I love it. I love it. I love it when I see our young black men doing things that's great in our community. And you are no exception to the rule. And I gotta say, well, you can't help it. It runs in your DNA. You just
That's right. It's part of the family.
That's part of the family. You can stop that if you wanted to.
That's correct. Absolutely.
Well, good morning, Tyler, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me, Sunshine. It's always an honor to be on Sunshine's Corner.
Well, thank you, love. Well, look, what you've got something kind of I really like to talk about, because when I read the flyer, you said, speaking lab, I said, really? And it's for the youth. And I want you to go into detail to tell everybody about that. But before we do that, let me say, let's talk about your church first.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I pastor Rise City Church, 1580 West Cervantes Street. It is a church where we pursue Jesus and unlock kingdom greatness in Jesus followers.
Come on now.
It's multi-generational, multi-ethnic, all different classes and walks of life, and we have a good time every Sunday, 9:30 and 11 a.m. So
I
come
see your
join us.
pictures on social media, so I know you are. And that's a good thing, and I love that because of the fact. And I love that. What did you say your motto is?
We pursue Jesus and unlock kingdom greatness in Jesus followers.
That is it. That is it in a nutshell. And what you're doing, I just gotta. And I see the multicultural that's in your audience, which is great, because Jesus, he has no respect to person.
That's right. That's right.
He comes at all of us.
That's right. And
that is great what you're doing. And I can't say how proud I am of you.
Well, it's interesting. The whole idea of unlocking kingdom greatness is a spinoff from what my father did years ago, which he used to say, our destiny is helping you to unlock your destiny.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I wanted to put a 2024 2.0 spin on what my father has so incredibly done, and the trails he's blazed in the city of Pensacola.
And I got to say good morning to you, Pastor Burns. How are you? And look, I want to say congratulations to you on air.
Yes,
I want to say, because he's now the pastor at Liberty.
Yes, at Liberty Church in Atmore, Alabama.
Yes.
Doing a phenomenal job, as
always. Of course. And congratulations to you. We knew that somebody was going to, he can't sit down.
Absolutely. It was cool to be on the other end of the, hey, I got this job offer. I've been on that end. But now it's cool to be the one giving him advice.
Oh, come on now. It just runs in the family.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about this, because when you say you got a speaking lab.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you come up with that? Then we're going to go into it.
Absolutely. So I had this idea for about 10 years.
Uh-huh.
I have been wrestling with this since 2024.
Really?
One of the things I recognize is that God doesn't just bless you with a gift. He also blesses you with a burden. And I've had a burden to always take what I know and share it with someone else. I'm at the stage of my life, mid-30s, where people are asking.
Oh, he's so old.
I know I said that like I'm an old soul. I'm an old soul. But I'm at the stage of my life where people ask the question, now, when are you going to take the leap up to the next level? And my conviction has always been that I actually, instead of looking up, I want to look back. And I want to actually take those who are right under me and bring them up to where I am and launch them to their next level. That's been my passion. And so since 2014, I've been wrestling with this idea of being trained in speaking, being trained to be able to preach, communicate on television, radio, behind pulpits, in interviews. And how can I train the next generation? Because that's always been my heart, to bless my city and to bless the next generation.
Right.
And so God gave me this burden, and I ran, as I always do. I said there are other people that could do it. I was like Moses in Exodus, pick somebody else. And God really placed upon my heart this urgency to do it before the end of the year. So the Speak Up Lab was birthed out of that.
Wow, the Speak Up Lab. So when you say, okay, now this is what I had in my head, right? I said, okay, baby, he's gonna teach him not to go You know what?
There's part of that. There. That's part of it.
That's part of it. But I see that you're going back. I think that concept is great. And what ages are you going for?
So in this initial round, we're going for ages 12 to 18, so teenagers. And the whole idea behind the Speak Up Lab is we want to help people find their voice and use it well. And finding your voice is bigger than just simply speaking in a way that is pleasing.
Right.
It's also finding the inner conviction of your purpose. It's finding your why. And so we're not just going to be talking about how to speak well and promote from a platform perspective.
Exactly.
We're also going to be talking about how can you find your why, and then how can you articulate and communicate your why to the world.
Right. Now, do you find that some of the younger people, you know, you people that are so old, 30?
They think I am now. I've got 2 gray hairs on here somewhere.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't zoom in. I got 2 gray hairs in.
But with the younger generation now, I see that they're much faster. I mean, it's just, everything is quick.
Absolutely.
With technology, how it is, and when you're saying find their voices, because I believe that there's so many things I think that they could really do that's going to be great for the country, great for us here locally.
Absolutely.
That can grow on and be a part of making this country great.
Yes.
Where it's already great. Don't take me there. But to make it, I think there's a voice for them. When you see things like that, I believe when God put that mantle on your heart to do that, therefore He knows that there's something there that He wants you take a look at yourself.
Yes.
Look at what you've done. And so therefore with the young people in your audience that I see this in your congregation and how they just flock to you because that's love and they trust and they love in you, how do you get them to see that it's not all about that fast life out there, that you can use this, what God has given you, to better yourself and others?
You know, I think that's such a great question because there's so many options. One great theologian once said that young people in America love to worship at the altar of the God of options. And we love worshiping our options and our opportunities. And so what I wanted to do is try to find something that cut through the noise.
Okay.
And what I learned early on is when I was 19 years old, I had this existential crisis. I didn't know why I was here. And so I prayed to God, give me a purpose. Tell me what my purpose statement is. And as on a spiritual level, I fasted for 3 days. It was my first time fasting on my own. And I sat down at the dinner table and wrote, I have been called to speak the truth clearly, beautifully, and unashamedly across all forms of media. And that from 19 now to 36 has been my purpose. That's been my all-consuming passion. And I found that the clarity of that purpose has kept me from going and detouring in places that God didn't call me to go to. It's also kept me from wearing armor I wasn't supposed to wear that didn't fit me.
Exactly.
And so for me, what I desired and what I hoped was that I could help some other people find their purpose too.
Exactly.
And start with the young people. And it's not going to end there, but to start with the teenagers because they have so many options and they're probably the most gifted generation we've ever seen. So it's not a matter of talent, it's a matter of training. And so I want to train them into finding that voice and being able to use it well.
When you say that there are so many options that you want to make sure they don't grab and go the wrong way, and I love your honesty when you said when you were at 19, you were like, oh, here are all these things. Now, okay, look, God, what do you want me to do so that I won't fall off and go the wrong way?
Absolutely.
And you see, let's say, I do believe that has to be with your upbringing and what your parents had planted in you and your life. For those who don't have that, and we want to reach them, are you finding it difficult for them to stay focused on a path that you see something in them?
Yes.
And to get them, just keep them from taking that easy way, that quick way, because there's so many things.
Well, I want to be, the adage is true that it takes a village to raise strong men and women.
I agree.
And I just want to be a part of the village.
There you go.
I just want to be a voice, maybe a bigger brother. For some of them, maybe an uncle. For some of them, maybe just an older sage that encourages them with the tools and actually equips them
Right.
to be able to have that wrestle themselves. One of the things I recognize, as great as my parents were, and as great as they are, and as great as their instruction of me was, there came a time where I had to make a choice for myself.
But now you're going where I want to go now, okay?
That's it. I feel like we have to empower teenagers. I just simply want to give them the tools. I don't want to make little clones of me. I don't want to make them new preachers or pastors. I just simply want them to be empowered with tools. And when you have tools, then you can make some decisions on your own with the help of a wise village around you. And yes, there are temptations. Yes, there are things that young people now are maybe more predisposed to than others. But I believe that they have tremendous potential and their future is boundless. And I just want to give them some tools for navigating a boundless future, which could be overwhelming for them.
In this community, as you can see, that we have such problems, and with even suicide, mental health, things that are so readily available for them, and so, and you find that they are dealing with so many things. Some young people, how do you get them to stay in church? Because think about it, you get so many haven't been in a church, they're not under a teacher.
Absolutely.
And we want them to know that some people think, oh, I'm not going to church, that's the saddest thing to do. Well, you're going, but they don't realize that's the greatest decision you could ever make because it's fun. They say, oh, it's not fun going to church. It's not fun being a Christian. Wrong answer. How do you tackle that? Because I think once you get some of these people, then by them being that age, some of their friends will see, and that will draw them in.
Right. I think I first want them to have a tremendous encounter with God. And I want them to know God for themselves.
Right.
And I think once you know God for yourself, you want to get around other people who know God for themselves.
There you go.
And sometimes I think we try to pull them into the pews a little too early, and we're trying to force them to go. And I'm definitely, my parents, they dragged me to church some days. There was no choice. You had to go to church.
Exactly.
You get up at 7:30, and it's time to get ready.
And you know that Sunday, that Wednesday, there was nothing else to do.
Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I got some stories, I tell you. But I think what I desired is, and what my parents really pushed upon me, is to have an encounter with God and to know that you've been created with a purpose. And I think that's the game changer, because most people come to God thinking God is a God of restriction. And God is a God of purpose, and God is a God of flourishing. And I want young people to know that there is so much flourishing in God. And so on the church side, that's what I'm excited about. On the speaking side, I just want to give people who are in faith, out of faith, returning to faith, all the above. I just want to give them tools. So it's not even decidedly Christian or anything. It will obviously be God inspired, but I want to reach out cross-cultural.
There you
go. Anybody
go.
can come.
Anybody.
You don't have to be a part of our church. You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to believe the same way I do. I believe you still have a purpose, and I believe God still created you with it so that you can find your voice.
And that's why we got the lab coming up. But listen, we're going to talk more with Pastor Tyler Burns. But let me say to you today, if you would like to be a part of the conversation, you can call us up at 850-432-7768 or text that number as well. Let me thank our fine sponsor, because coming up, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And on the 26th, we've got the Making Strides Walk that's going to take place right there at Seville. I want to thank our very fine sponsors that's going to be with us. Ron Helms, who is running for District 4. Thank you, Ron. Sunny's Barbecue and Stallworth Insurance Services. Thank you, Pastor, for doing that for us. Look, you can still be a part of it right here. Sunshine's Corner, making a difference.
As we come upon this election, it's important for everybody to get out and vote. It is critical. Voting is the cornerstone of our democracy. It lends a voice to everyone, to the people, to make sure that America is the society that we want it to be, that everybody wants it to be. If you don't get out and vote, you really don't have anything to complain about. My name is Troy Rafferty, and I want to encourage everybody to just vote.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
I vote because my mother voted. She was 40 years old, and I was 20 when she first voted. She said, Mamie Lee, take me to the registration office or wherever I need to go so that I can register to vote. So I vote for that reason, and I want everybody else to vote. Don't just talk, you gotta walk it like you talk it, and when you walk it, you are voting. So vote. I'm Mamie Webb Hickson, Director of the Writing Lab at the University of West Florida. Just vote.
It's the hardest conversation I have with patients, telling them that their baby won't make it. And now, because of Florida's extreme abortion ban, I also have to tell them I can't help. The ban forces women to wait until the brink of death to get care and could send doctors like me to prison just for treating my patients. That's terrifying. And it's why I'm voting yes on 4, to end the ban so government can't stop women from getting life-saving care.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner on this Tuesday edition. Let me say this as well. I do not want to overlook this, especially that I have a man of God here with me. You know that there's Milton out there, and that's strong. That storm is the strongest storm I've ever seen in my life that has intensified up to a 5 overnight.
Yes.
And St. Petersburg, Tampa area. But with this cool weather we're feeling is all reflects from it.
Yes.
But as a community, let's not forget to pray for those people because they just went through one a couple of days ago. And now this one is supposed to going to hit tomorrow and Thursday. But let's just pray that God will calm the seas, that they're safe. You know, I mean,
absolutely.
Because that is really a dangerous storm. And we are so blessed that we haven't got hit here in a while.
It is surprising that 2 hurricanes that large would miss us when we're in Hurricane Alley. But I will say, you know, our prayers and our thoughts are with those who are in the path. And whatever we can do to help, we must, as a community, also be prepared to mobilize help. I know a ton of great churches are doing that for the residents in North Carolina and Georgia and other places. And so we need to be prepared to help our neighbors in Central and South Florida. Absolutely.
You know, we got to remember this too, because that was the first hurricane that I had ever experienced was when I first moved here was Ivan. And I said, oh my Lord, where did I come to?
I remember we were without power for 2 weeks. It was lines. It was very dystopian, apocalyptic.
God.
It was something else.
And when I say that to say we know how it feels. So let's not forget about those people down south that are about to take a second round. And this one is going to be a strong one. So let's continue to pray for them. Now let's go back to talking about the lab.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, the lab. Now what we want to also share with everybody that's viewing today, when we say the lab, we're not just talking to our Black community.
No, it's within the culture and outside of our culture as well. Anybody, any teenager ages 12 to 18 that desires to grow, on December 7th, that's a Saturday, it'll be at Woodland Heights Resource Center. It is going to be incredible. If people want to know more information, they go to speakuplab.org, and it has all the information there. You can purchase your ticket. We also got some incredible sponsors, which I'll be announcing later today for that. But it's for anybody, any culture, any background, any class of teenager that desires to grow, or parents who desire to see their teenagers grow. We're really excited to be able to equip them. It's a 3-hour, very straightforward masterclass. They're going to get a syllabus book. They're going to get some other surprises that I won't spoil. They will get some incredible, it will be an experience to remember, I guarantee you.
I am so proud that you're doing that. And I say that because, and I want to thank, you didn't even mention your sponsors. I want to thank them because it takes that. You know what I mean? It takes that. Because of when you see greatness and you see people that are working toward to make things better, be a part of it. I believe, and I say this, I always use this analogy, if we put all of our resources together, there's nothing that we can't do.
Absolutely.
I mean, that strongness, there is nothing that we can't do.
And I want to emphasize something else that I think is very important. When we talk about speaking, I know some young people or teenagers would hear, oh, well, I'm not ever going to stand in front of a platform to speak. I'm not ever going to be on a stage. I'm not going to be behind a pulpit. I have had 20 years. I've been preaching for 20 years. I started preaching when I was 16. And what I've learned is that being able to communicate effectively was a transferable skill.
Okay.
So we're not just simply talking about you standing on a stage and delivering a monologue.
Right.
We're also talking about the way you interact with someone. We're talking about a
Exactly.
job interview. Another thing which is major when we talk about violence in our community, we're also talking about conflict de-escalation as well. So the ability to de-escalate a conflict.
Chills just went through me then.
Absolutely. The ability to actually not escalate an argument, but learn the tools and the fine art of what it means to disarm someone with your
Right.
words, to disarm someone with your body language. Those are also important. This is transferable. So if you never step on a stage, if you have this skill, your life will be enhanced. If you have these tools, you will be better for it.
That is so, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because even myself, I was thinking like, oh, can I talk? Am I a public speaker? But no, these are ways that what the young people are dealing with.
Absolutely.
The things that they're dealing with
Yes.
every single day, these choices that we're
Yes.
talking about, all of that's inclusive in this so that they can learn how to, because you know how you see things like, oh, go get them, man, do that, instead of that.
Exactly. De-escalate a conflict.
Yes.
That's what a skill that is in our community, what a
Exactly.
necessity. And the amazing thing is the benefit of the generation can also become a negative within the generation. And what I mean by that is we have technology, and technology is incredible, AI is incredible.
Yeah.
But what it has done is it's caused us to look down to a screen rather than look up into eyes. And I think what happens is we dehumanize ourselves and others when we just stare at screens.
Right.
We look at faces and eyes, we see the beauty of what God has created.
Come on.
And so I believe that teaching and training will get young people off of the screen into eyes again. And we're not just talking about a transferable skill in terms of what you can use it for, but now you're talking about quality of life. Now you're talking
Yes.
about response to discipline and advice and wisdom that their parents may give or advisors may give. It is a truly transferable skill. I always say that being able to communicate well is a superpower.
You are so, you know, I'm so glad that you took, I keep saying that every time that I find out something else, you know, I can't help but go, oh, I'm so happy. Because of the fact, these devices right here,
Yes.
I mean,
God bless them, by the way.
I mean, now, Lord knows they're good to have.
We need 'em.
I mean, we need them, but when you see them, 90%, you know they can walk, and their faces never get off this.
Never get off.
I mean, and you won't walk into me. You'll know when to turn, not to walk into me.
Wow.
That's amazing. And I think this too, when you see some people when they're at home,
Yes.
this is it.
Yes.
And I tell my adult friends this: call me, don't text me.
You're a call, don't text person.
Yeah, I mean, now if it's something you know, I gotta know, text me. But if it's something, if I'm at home and
Yes.
if it's my leisure time, call
Me. Yeah.
I can hear your voice. I can tell there's something wrong
Yes.
because
yes.
I know you.
Yes.
You can tell there's something wrong with me, but I can text you and make you think I'm the happiest person in the world.
Absolutely. You can't tell tone and body
No.
language, and all that is very important for the presence of how you communicate yourself
Exactly.
to others.
Exactly.
And these are the things. This is why we have the Speak Up Lab. It is because when you're finding your voice, you're finding your purpose, but you're finding your sense of being. And we want to help young people do that. And for 3 hours, they're not going to get everything.
Of course
but
not.
they're going to get the core pillars of what it means. And I think parents will be surprised
Are you gonna
to
do
see
one for the
how much of
parents?
it. Perhaps if they want one. If they want one. You know, it's a supply demand issue, right?
I think
If you
would get
demand
an
it, I'll do it.
I think you'll get an overflow.
If you demand it, I'll do it. I
You
don't
think
have
that
any
just for
problem.
those kids, I think, because I think the parents need to know how to do this thing as well.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I'm just going to be real and transparent. There are some who just use this too.
Oh, absolutely. We all do. It's the temptation for all of us, no matter what our generational age is.
Did you get my text? But did you get
Exactly,
that? Well, I did
exactly.
reach out. No. Let's teach. Let's
talk.
Okay, we're going to get a class for the adults. Okay.
If you do, my intention was I want to start where I feel like the most
Of course,
need is.
of course.
But I'm wide open to expanding and doing different age and stage categories, or just doing one big one for anybody. So
Supposing the parents want to attend with the kids.
sure, I don't have any problem with the parents coming. You know, they can come and be a part. And if your child is registered, come. Don't try to sneak in the back.
Hello.
If your child isn't registered, but if you, I just want to throw that out there.
Well, look, I'm with you all the way. I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
But if
I know what you mean.
If your child is registered, of course, parents are more than welcome to join their children.
Because I think that is great, because parents, sometimes you can get a team, let's say if it's a team job, a mom and child, That's just something to think about. I'm just throwing my little 2 cents in.
Yes.
But I think what you're doing is absolutely great, but you're teaching them how to do this. And I believe when they realize how effective it can be with a conversation by my looking you in your eyes.
Yes.
But I can see the smile.
Yes.
And that's going to cause my body language to do something else, then that will somewhat, you won't use it as much.
Yes, absolutely. And well, especially you'll know and discern when is the right time to use the phone and when is the right time to use voice and in your face and your body language.
Absolutely fantastic. So guys, get this out, please. Now, something else I want to find out from you, because of your, been teaching for what? Oh, Lord, ever since you were 16. 16 years old. That is absolutely amazing. And I see, whereas I followed you for a while, way before this. And the things that you do, and that younger people gravitate to you. And with that mantle that he has put on you, and I think that God has this thing with you so that you can be that light for the kids. Because if they're in darkness, how can they want it?
Yes.
But they don't know how to get it.
Yes.
And I don't want Susie over here to think that I'm, because I want to walk that way.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'll say this because adults do this. I want to do this. I want to be saved. I want to be saved and fly. Some young person said that, fly and save or something like that.
Absolutely.
I think it's that more. He has a radio show.
Okay. Yeah.
And he has
absolutely.
a TV. He's young and fly. I'm young, saved, and fly.
Yes. Yes.
But they fear the fact that they can't be fly and be saved. When they learn the truth, that God doesn't take it away. He uplifts you. That just do the right thing, and you're going to be more fly than ever.
Yeah.
But
that's so true.
with you at that age and what you do, talk to the parents and tell them what you experienced with their youth.
Yes.
To help them understand how to reach their youth.
Well, one of the things that I was a youth pastor for 10 years, so that gave me tremendous experience in talking with youth on the ground. And one of the things that I've talked with teenagers about and realized is that, number one, they're always listening. Number two, they're always watching. And number three, they're always wrestling.
Okay.
They're listening, they're watching, and they're wrestling.
Okay.
And for a lot of parents, they feel as though they're trying to run away. But the reality is they hear everything that you say.
Right.
The unfortunate blessing and burden is they see everything you do.
Absolutely.
And they're wrestling with how they fit within it. And it was a game changer for me to realize that there's a false self and a true self. That I have a false self and a true self. My false self is the fake me. My true self is the real me that God has created.
Okay.
And I started stepping away from critiquing, lecturing, beating the young people over the head with the Bible, so to speak. So find your true self. Because whoever your true self is, God has created you to flourish in it.
Amen.
And so what I encourage parents to do is help your children find their true self and teach them that God has created them to be that.
Exactly.
And created them to be a blessing to others in that and through that.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a game changer for young people to realize that I can be myself. I can be culturally relevant. I can be fly, whatever the word is now today. I can have aura. That's a big popular word. I can have aura and still be who I am. I can dress the way that I dress. I can talk the way that I talk. It doesn't really matter. What matters most is that you are who God created you to be.
Exactly.
And God wants that, not the other way around.
Exactly.
So.
Everybody, we're talking with Pastor Tyler Burns today, and we're talking about the speaking lab. And you see, it's not just what you think about public speaking. No, there are so many angles to this lab that he's going to be taking place. That's going to take place December the 7th. And you can be a part of it. Again, let me thank our sponsors coming up, because I want to remind everybody, we know how cancer affects everybody. Coming up on the 26th, it is the Making Strides Walk that's going to take place right here in Pensacola at Seville, downtown. The walk is going to kick off at 8, so I think you need to be there by 7. So we can go out and talk to other people, because there's a program that's planned. Thank you so much to Sunday's Barbecue. He's such a kind guy. He said, I'll bring you some chicken. Don't bring no chicken. And of course, we want to thank my pastor over there, Pastor Marcel at Stallworth Insurance Services. Thank you. And Ron Helm from District 4. Thank you for all that you do right here on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
Florida's near-total abortion ban outlaws abortion before many women even realize they're pregnant. The ban means many survivors of rape, incest, and human trafficking will be forced to carry their attacker's child against their will. Get the truth about Florida's near-total abortion ban.
Voting is important to me because I often think about my grandmother. It was a struggle for her to go downtown to become ready to vote. Now things have been made different because of their sacrifice. People work very hard to take your right to vote. I want you to work very hard this year to exercise your right to vote. You owe it to the future generation that's coming behind us. My name is Marcel Davis, and I want to encourage you to just vote.
Florida's near-total abortion ban has no real exceptions for rape, incest, or the patient's health. This dangerous ban puts the lives, health, and future of women in Florida at risk. Get the truth about Florida's abortion ban.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back. I tell you, on this conversation today, I'm so engulfed in this because it is so many things that I could talk about for hours and hours and hours. I mean, Pastor Tyler Burns right here. The name of your church and address again?
It is Rise City Church, 1580 West Cervantes Street in Pensacola, Florida.
I agree. I mean, you need to really think about this. So we were talking off camera how your church, it just attracts everybody. And it's such a, you know, I see this. And there are so many people there, and I was saying this before we went to break, that in your church, it's just not teenagers.
Right. Well, we have 95-year-old church mothers.
Thank you.
90-year-old church mothers.
Thank you.
We have a very, very strong, what we call our champions.
Right.
We're 60 plus, and they are such a blessing and a balm to us as a church.
And I see that there's not just black people.
No, we are 60. I think the number says 65% black.
Right.
And then the rest is an assortment, mostly
white.
It's a
multicultural church.
It's truly multicultural, and we're navigating what that means. That was unexpected, but we're navigating what that means. What I found though, Sonshine, is a lot of people want diversity, but they don't want individuality.
Okay.
And
let's go a little bit deep on that.
Diversity comes through being yourself. And I don't think diversity is something that you manufacture and force. I believe that diversity is something that comes naturally because people gather around a mission and they gather around authenticity.
Right.
Now, sometimes you won't be able to reach everybody, you won't be able to touch everybody, you have your own traditions, your own way of doing things. But what I found is that people desire diversity, but they want to be a cookie cutter. And I've never been a cookie cutter. I've just been me. And people have told me specifically, people have told me to my face, that because of who I am, because of what I stand for, because of how I carry myself, I would never be able to have a multi-ethnic church. You'll just never be able to do
Never
it.
Say never.
And my father proved years ago that you can. And so what I didn't determine, okay, I'm gonna prove them wrong. What I determined was I'm gonna be myself.
Exactly.
And whoever God draws to be around me, I'll welcome them with open arms and I'll pastor them and love them very well.
Let's give our people credit. When there's truth,
absolutely.
We want the truth.
Absolutely. They do.
We're going to gravitate to the truth.
Absolutely. People want the truth. People want to be able to study the Bible.
Yes.
People want to be able to have someone who answers their questions or helps or wrestles with their questions. They want welcome and love. They want belonging.
Yes.
And so I think the homogenized view of church is breaking down. It won't, I'll tell you this, if you have a homogenized view of church, specifically a homogenized view in the Southern context, right, which is othering people
right,
who are not a part of your fellowship, who
right,
are not a part of your class or culture, you will not survive the next 10 years of church.
No, you won't. And I think something else too, because I believe that I won't just say the people that's in your congregation, that you're reachable, that I can talk to you. I don't have to wait 6 months to talk to you. You understand what I'm saying?
I empathize with pastors who have much, much larger churches than I do. And I empathize with the idea that you can't reach and touch everybody. But my conviction has been, if I am going to be a shepherd, and if that's what God calls me to be, then I need to smell like sheep.
Come on now.
And being a shepherd means you need to be with people.
Yes.
And so people know it's an open invite in our church, that if you want to have lunch with us on Sunday with me and my family, you can. You don't have to ask. You can just come. Yeah, if you don't have to get an appointment. Anybody.
That's what I'm talking
it could be
about.
It could be your first Sunday, it could be your 100th Sunday. Sometimes we have 40 people at the restaurant, other times we have 5, other times we have none.
But it's okay.
But hey, it's open. So if you need some fellowship, doesn't matter who you are, you could be coming off the street, whatever it is. We'll get you a meal, and you can sit with us.
Because sometimes people have things that they feel on the inside. It may not show, but they can be dying on the inside. Yes. Find somebody that I can talk to and feel comfortable talking to that person.
Absolutely. That was a game changer for me in my growth and development.
Right.
Having mentors that were accessible and who showed me radical hospitality.
Yes.
And I think that's the message of the gospel. That's the message of Jesus. So
absolutely.
That's what's most important.
And that's the message of the lab too.
Yes,
absolutely.
Because
we're teaching you how to.
Absolutely.
Now, see, I'm comfortable. I'm going all these areas. But you see, when you said a moment ago, it's not just to teach you to public speak. No. It is so many other areas that this experience that you can take place, that's going to take place on December the 7th, that you can be a part of, because you can be an extension from you to help somebody else.
Absolutely. Can you hold a conversation?
Yes.
Can you keep someone's interest on a first date?
Yes.
Can you handle yourself well in a college interview?
Yes.
All these things are necessary when it comes to communication.
Even going on a job interview.
Yes, a job interview. This is massive. So that right there, I think, is going to be a game changer for people, because they think it's just about how you speak in public.
Right.
It's also how you speak and carry yourself in private as well.
Absolutely, because when you say that in public, because sometimes I'm going to be so open. Oh God. Some of them be cussing so bad. I mean, and I'm right there.
Right.
And it's not necessary to do that.
Exactly. Well, timing, right? So if you're with your friends and you're in the privacy of your own home, or you're playing video games, y'all have a bubble where you can talk about whatever you feel like you need to say. But when you're in public, you have to know timing and tact and all the above.
This young man was cussing so, and I said, did that faze him? No.
Well, you never know who you're around, and you never know who's
thank you,
who's important in your presence.
I mean, it's just the fact that I just want them to realize, and I want them to also, and I'm sure when you're teaching them, and I want to say this, sometimes I get a contact high because it's so open, this thing, and all of that's on the amendments this year.
Right, absolutely.
But with the voting, even with that, and I think you're teaching them another level of success. That they can use, that they can take themselves, that you don't have to. Now, if you choose to, that's your thing, you want to go out there. But come on, when you learn something different, you want to do something different.
And I think it just gives them the confidence of self. I want people to find who they are. I want them, when you find who you are, you find your voice.
Right.
You learn how to use it well.
Right.
I've been all across the world speaking. Across the world.
Right.
I've spoken on 3 different continents. I've had a podcast for 11 years, has over 9 million downloads. I started a TV show when I was 21 years old. I've been preaching from pulpits. And when I tell you that being able to speak well has opened up immeasurable doors for me.
But of course.
And it doesn't have to just be what you see on a platform and on a stage.
Most certainly.
Will open up a whole new world for you.
Absolutely.
And I believe that's what God wants for them, and I'm here to facilitate it.
Well, you're doing an excellent job with it, because December the 7th. Now, how do they need to register? Let's talk about that.
Sure.
What's the how, when the deadline is already started?
Absolutely, it has. You can go to speakuplab.org, speakuplab.org, and you get all the information there. There's ticket registration already there. You'll get your confirmation immediately. There's also space for if you desire to request for sponsorships.
Oh,
That's
really?
info@speakuplab.org. If someone says, hey, finances are permitting me, we have some who have sponsored and helped to ensure that every teenager that desires to be there can be there on December 7th.
So it's not, is there a limit? It's open?
No,
because that place is
open.
big. I heard you know where you
It's
say
open.
They're
It's
having
open.
it.
It's open. Get in where you fit in.
Exactly.
Get in before they stop me.
Exactly.
Because we've already had a pretty strong response. So please get in before they stop me and before they cap me. Because I have to be in constant communication with them about how many people are coming. And there's all kinds of stipulations that come along with that.
But
so
of course.
Please act quickly if you can.
I believe so, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to even get more so now that they see that it's more than one direction.
Absolutely.
And now, because this show is going to play a game this afternoon at 6 o'clock.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
So we can tell everybody, look, those who are at work that would like to be a part, hey, look, watch it. I'll even send you the link in a couple of days.
Amazing.
So that we can continue to let people know, because I think this is important, because we need to reach back and grab our youth.
Yes.
Because I say this often, dear friends, because they are our future. And if we don't take on and teach them the things that are necessary to get them to the next level, not just let them sit here and say, okay, you're there. That's all you can do. No, because there's greatness in all of us.
It is. I believe that.
I believe
that there's greatness in them, and I believe that there is a voice in them, even in the ones who you feel are unlikely, the ones who are headaches, the ones who are problem children.
Right.
I want to encourage parents, do not just invite the people who you think, or the teenagers you think are exceptional to this. Don't just invite the top tier. We welcome them.
Right.
But invite even those who you feel are troublemakers, who are problem children.
Exactly.
They may find something that may unlock a new level of understanding for them. And we're going to help everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you come from. My team and I will help everyone to be able to find their voice.
Without, see, this is coming up on December the 7th. Well, when you brought something up, I had to write that down. We got to go to break, but when we come back, I really want to touch that, because I think that is excellent that you're doing. And parents, for those who are watching today, make sure you spread this word, because what he's doing is going to help with our young people. We're always saying, well, it's the young people, we don't have anybody doing anything. Wrong answer. Yes, we do. But the fact of it is, are we going to take the step to make sure that they are there to learn something, to apply in their lives, to take them to the next level, to show them where their greatness lies? So please stay with us right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Florida Constitutional Amendment 4 will save women's lives and protect their reproductive freedoms. It ensures doctors can provide life-saving emergency care to women. 65% of Floridians support abortion rights, and Amendment 4 was put on the ballot following a citizen-led initiative. Despite this, politicians in Tallahassee approved a draconian 6-week abortion ban, which denies women reproductive freedom. Stand up for women's reproductive rights. Stand up for democracy. Vote yes on Amendment 4 this November.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
Let's work together to end breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Blab TV and Sunshine's Corner, we're joining this year's annual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, and we want you to join us. Making Strides is happening on Saturday, October 26th, Seville Square, 8 a.m. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. And we can't end breast cancer without you. I'll see you there.
My father told us he paid the cost to be the boss, which meant whatever he told you to do, you better do. So we were told you must vote. He would sit us down at a round table and go over the reasons why you needed to vote, why it was so important, that he fought for us to make sure that we could vote, and that we were to fight for ourselves and for his grandchildren.
My name is Jill Lewis-Staggs. I am the state committee woman for Okaloosa County, and I'm here to tell you, just vote.
And welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Sunshine's Corner. And we are talking with Pastor Tyler Burns, and it is absolutely a great conversation. I want to roll back because before we went to break, you said something I think that I agree with 150%. Sometimes I see repetition of the same ones getting things. But I don't want to see a child left behind.
Yes.
Now, there are kids out there, they say, oh, that bad child, I'm not going to mess with that bad child. Or Susie over here, oh, no, she's not going to do this. But those are the kids we got to reach.
Yes.
And when you were talking about don't just overlook those bad kids, I am so glad to hear you say this. So let's talk about that. Why is it that's so important to you?
Yes.
'Cause it makes my heart flutter that I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget that you want to reach those kids that are left behind. That's where the community comes in, right?
One of the earliest problems is that we put labels on teenagers. And when we see them as problems. We don't see their gift. We don't see their talent. We don't see their blessing. We don't see their opportunity. We don't see their possibility.
Right.
We just stigmatize them as a problem child, or we give them a label. And the problem with that is we've already categorized them, not just in our minds, but in the distillation and sharing of resources.
Right.
We've kept them away from what they need most.
Right.
And so we put them in a category where, well, if you act good, then you'll get an opportunity. If you do the right thing, you'll get an opportunity. And the truth is, yes, there is a principle of sowing and reaping. But what I found is that when you look in the scriptures that I preach from every single Sunday, God finds unlikely, unworthy. He found Gideon in a wine press. He found Moses on the backside of a mountain.
Come on.
He finds people who are unlikely and whom society is considered to be unworthy because they've made mistakes.
Yes.
Because they've had problems, because they've had issues. And I believe that God doesn't desire for anybody to not have an opportunity. I believe he gives an opportunity to everyone. And I want to model and mirror that gospel vision, which says, even the kids who come from difficult circumstance and rough background, and maybe who are considered by society standards unworthy of an event like this, they'll make your event look bad. No, I actually want those teenagers to come and meet me on December 7th.
Exactly.
Because I believe that it's especially for them, because something will be unlocked on the inside of them.
Most certainly. And you know, I want to do this publicly because I think we're talking about it early. I'm going to leave the door open so we can schedule you closer.
Yes, please. I would love to come back.
I don't want anybody to miss this opportunity to get their children involved.
Yes.
Because it's so needed.
Well, they're going to start seeing posters pop up all across the city.
There you go.
We're going to do the grassroots campaign. We're talking with some organizations right now to show up prominently at some events. We're really excited about getting the word out. But if you know anyone who would be in need, please share the link with them, speakuplab.org. It is going to be incredible.
Absolutely. So listen, everybody, I'm going to keep that up here. I'm going to make sure I have it on my page. I'm going to put it on my IG, all of my social media.
Thank you so much. Thank you
because
so much.
I think that this needs to go out. This is what we mean by working together to change.
Yes.
Change. I don't think we should just do it and say, well, I don't think we should just say it and don't do it.
Yes.
I see some things, and I've heard a lot of people come to me, well, but the focus is not there. You hear the talk, but I don't see the action.
Yes.
You know, and when you sent me that poster, I said, oh, yes.
You got on it right away. Which was amazing.
Because of the fact that I think it's so prevalent right now that we need this. Because if we don't save them, who's going to do it? Let's don't give up on the ones that society has given up on.
It's our responsibility.
It is our
They're
responsibility.
our children. This is our city. It's our generation. And we often do the othering, the pointing fingers. It's them. They're not equaling up to what I expected. They're not doing what they need to do. And really, the truth of the matter is, it's all of our responsibility to get involved. It's all of our responsibility to spread positive love and hope for the next generation.
And you know what also this is going to help with, because of the fact that, you know, here in Escambia County, we're at the number 2 position, I believe, for suicide.
Yes. Mental health is very serious.
Mental health is
It's serious.
Really, really serious. I wouldn't say dead serious right here in Pensacola. But what I'm saying is, see, these are ways that we can help with that. These are the kind of things I was talking. What are we going to do to help with our youth with the mental health? What are we going to do to help with our youth with this suicide, with this drug addiction that they're going around with? Do you know with fentanyl that we're at the top?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're at the top. And I'm saying this, so this is a way you're reaching them to let them know that there's greatness. You may have made a mistake.
Yes. But there's more opportunity for you.
But there are opportunities. We've all made mistakes.
And there's a voice in you to use and to share what you have experienced, what you've gone through, the difficulties you've faced,
Exactly.
and the opportunities that you can now have.
And don't feel like that you're the only one that made mistakes. Wrong answer.
Oh my goodness. we would need all day show to talk about my mistakes.
Look, we
need an all day.
forever and a day to get that taken. If I tell you some of the things that I made
Listen.
mistakes, and I mean, come on. But so what? Don't feel alone, so that you don't think that nobody cares, because somebody does.
Somebody
and
does
what
care.
you're doing with this lab.
Yes, yes.
I mean, speak like, I love that, because I had it all centered wrong. But I see now this is greatness that needs to be for our children.
It's not just for those who stand on stages, it's for every teenager to be able to speak well.
Ages 12 through
18, 12 to 18.
That's those
12
years.
to 18, right in those years where you're struggling trying to get through to them. Are they listening to me? They won't talk to me. They're in the corner. They're on their phone. They're in the video games. They're hanging with their friends. Now is the perfect time for them to be able to find their voice.
You know what? I just had this. We might bring a youth with you.
Oh, I'd love to. I have some in mind already.
That would be great.
I have some in mind. We'll definitely do that.
I think that would be such a message.
Yes.
And then it's going to be coming up to the holidays, because they're going to be out, want things to do.
Yes.
I mean, but this will give them something to plan for. Think about that.
It's a tremendous early Christmas gift. It's investment.
Yes.
There are going to be some things that I don't want to spoil it. I almost said I don't want to spoil it. But the things that happen on December 7th will mark them. It will mark them. It's going to be incredible. And I really want to emphasize that, not just because I'm doing it, but because when young people get around each other and when we invest in them, greatness is unlocked on the inside of them. And you might not recognize your son or your daughter once they leave. You never know. I truly believe it.
Yeah. And I want to hear them talk, because sometimes when that light bulb comes on, and I mean, to teach them to go ahead, get that education, to focus on like you said, with an application, how to do that, how to prepare for college,
how to ask for help, how to share your feelings, all that is related to communication.
Absolutely, so many ways, because during those ages, 12 to 18, I mean, you teach them how to get ready to even have that ready to choose your college.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't just say I graduated, got this high school diploma, which is nothing wrong with that, which is good, but there's so much more that you can attain. If you don't want to go to a 4-year college, let me show you how you can get into a 2-year program.
Or technical school, or a trade school.
Yes.
There's so many tremendous opportunities. I'm going to tell you, because of words, I've stood on stages I should not have been on.
Come on now.
I've been in rooms that I didn't feel like I was worthy to be in.
Absolutely.
Just recently, I was on a trip with some of the smartest religious minds in the world. 20 of them. We went across the border to Mexico, some other places, and it was shocking to me. And someone pulled me to the side, and what they said was, I love how you add value to every conversation.
Really?
This is a PhD. This is someone far more educated than I am. It's, I love how you add value to every conversation. Thank you for being here. And that's the power of being able to communicate. And it's not something that's, yes, I think certain things, it's natural and it's a God-given gift. But being able to communicate well, you can be trained in that.
Exactly.
You can do that.
Because believe me, they speak.
Oh, they do.
We just got to train them.
Absolutely.
Because, you know.
And I want all that flair and that, all that sauce, as they say, that aura. I like that. We can train that. We can mold that. But you have to know the basics first.
When you're hanging with your friends, do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
But when you've got to step into another arena, know how you can turn that on.
Be versatile. Be versatile.
Thank you. To relate to whatever the area that you're in, that you can relate to those people and not keep it the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to be prepared.
You got to be. And I think that is great. So parents, please write this down. Keep it here, because I'm going to tell you more about it. He's coming back the closer we get. He's going to bring some young people with him. And the fact of it is, this is going to take place on December the 7th. And you can get your child in. The groups, the ages are from 12 to 17. Take it over.
12 to 18.
12 to 18.
12 to 18, so it'll be 3 hours on Saturday, December 7th, 9:30 to 12:30. SpeakUpLab.org. It'll be at Woodland Heights Resource Center. So right in the heart of the community.
Yes.
So it's going to be right there where the community is. It's not going to be church affiliated. So anybody can come, no matter your cultural affiliation.
right.
Some people have said, oh, it's just for young men. No, it's for young men and young ladies as well. Please come out. Please. It is going to be amazing.
And therefore, you don't have to worry about dressing up. Come dress casual.
Do your thing.
Do your thing. And bring your friends.
Absolutely.
Tell your friends. You know how sometimes they got the buddy system? I've heard the thing where they go, some kids when they go in the military, they got the buddy system.
Yes.
So use this as that day to learn more. Hey, Patricia, let's you and I go.
Yes.
Let's learn this together.
Text it to somebody, seriously.
Exactly.
Text it. You know, send it to somebody. I believe it will mark you, but it's also an enhancement. If you do it with someone else, it'll be encouraging for you to experience it, debrief, process it with someone else. And then there'll be other opportunities, there'll be follows, which you'll find out on December 7th.
That's right.
That will continue this journey.
Absolutely. And I tell you, let's not let this opportunity bypass us, okay? Let's get this started now. If you go onto our page right now, you'll see it on my page, all three. It's there. If you go onto his page, give that a web address again and your...
Speakuplab.org. Speakuplab.org. It'll take you straight to the place where you can get all the information about the event.
And get your young people registered. I can't thank you enough, Tom.
Oh, I can't thank you enough. You've always been so gracious with your platform. It's an honor to be here.
I love it so because you're doing what I think that needs to be done. Because when we say, what can we do in the community?
Yes.
This is it.
That's right.
This is part of it. So we are, and he's reaching out. Anybody, you can be there to get the difference, to find that power in you that you can use.
Yes.
And I mean, look at the smile on his face when I say that every time.
I love it. It is the obedience to God finally after 10 years, and I'm glad someone is excited about it.
I can't hide.
I can't. No, man.
No doubt about it. Well, thank you, Tyler. And I tell you, everybody, listen up. It has been a great day today with lots of information. We've got to get out of here, but I want to leave you as I do every single day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember, if you keep God first, I'll guarantee you this, you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow for another day of sunshine and information right here, your information network. Know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. We'll be back tomorrow. And thank you, Tyler.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Everybody stay safe.
No doubt about it.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.